Easter stripes and bunny delights, that's what this gorgeous card is made from. Okay, it's also made with a template, paper, stamps, and adhesives, if we're going to get technical about it. But the point is, it's quick, it's easy, and it's a great stash buster. I used my Mama Elephant Quick Stripes die set for this, but if you don't have stripy dies, you can always use your paper trimmer. I started by cutting a bunch of strips from Spiffier Speckles Papers by Fawn in the colours Griffin, Nessie and Yeti. I also cut this egg shape from printer paper, and there is a link below so you can download a copy that you can use. I have a pre-coloured bunny stamp, and that's pretty much all there is by way of embellishments on this card. But of course you could add more if you so wish. Because the egg shape is on printer paper, we don't want to go crazy with liquid adhesive lest everything wrinkles. So I'm applying double-sided tape down the lengths of the egg, a little around the sides, and then some liquid glue around the top edge and eventually the bottom edge. Now we can begin layering strips onto that egg base, and we need to be careful that the lower edge of that strip hangs a little off the left-hand side when working from top to bottom. This is going to give the egg shape full coverage. I've chosen to layer my strips from left to right, but you can add them at a diagonal instead. When layering strips horizontally, it doesn't take much for them to end up a bit wonky, so it can be helpful to work on a grid. A little above the halfway mark, I've added a wider strip of plain white cardstock. This is where the sentiment will be added. Once all of the strips have been adhered to the paper egg shape, flip it over and use a pair of long bladed scissors to cut away all those overhanging paper strips. I placed my striped egg into my mini Misty stamping tool, added my fussy cut little bunny stamp to help me place my sentiment stamps on the plain white stripe. I've stamped with Ranger Archival Jet Black ink. It's a nice waterproof ink, and one stamp did the job. Now you can apply adhesive to the back of your bunny and sit him or her on the lower edge of that white cardstock. Then apply adhesive to the back of the whole piece and stick that to the centre front of your card base. This card is being donated to Homemade Cards for Seniors Australia, distributed by Meals on Wheels. So I'm adding a sentiment inside and signing my name and state for that personal touch. These inside sentiments are also part of your printable that you can download. There are 4 to a page. What I've done is trim 0.5 centimetre off the top and bottom left and right edges and cut the page into quarters. This gives me a great sentiment to add inside the card and room to sign my name. To add that sentiment sheet inside, I've just used a piece of 3mm double-sided tape along the top. You could also use washi tape and pop a removable note inside, letting the recipient know that they can remove and keep the sentiment and reuse the card if they so wish. When I cut out my pattern paper using these quick stripe dies, there are 4 of these with varying stripe widths. That's hard to say. I cut 1 of each die from each of 3 pieces of pattern paper. Therefore, I have a lot of strips left over that I can use to make more cards. And my goal is to use them up in one crafting session because my paper and cardstock leftover folders are quite full enough. Plus, that's more cards that can put smiles on the faces of Australian seniors this Easter. Now, as I mentioned, I've made a printable for you, a little Easter bonus. It includes the egg template that you can print and use, as well as the inside sentiments. There's a link below where you can download that and use to your little heart's content. And I will tell you up front, this is sized for A4 paper, but it should adjust okay to letter sized. There are also links to the Homemade Cards for Seniors Australia Facebook page and group, so you can learn more about their great work. I'm one of the New South Wales card collection points. If you're an Australian card maker who's thinking about donating, there are 4 occasions for which we are collecting right now: Easter, Thinking of You, Birthday, and Christmas. Each card does need an envelope, but it does not need to be in a plastic bag. And please add a sentiment inside, sign your name and your state, because that is the personal touch that makes our seniors smile. If you would like more information about this project or Homemade Cards for Seniors Australia, please ask your questions below because I do love a good Q&A. Happy crafting, happy Easter, and I will see you next time.